This episode of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine was made possible by contributions from slaves like you. Thank you very much.
What's wrong, Willie? What are we doing messing around like a high school chemistry class? Man, anybody can make explosives like this.
Okay, Willie. You go order some plastic and detonators from Marshall Fields.
Everything on this table
Can be obtained easily from a drugstore, a hardware store, or medical supply house. If we can get sophisticated equipment, we'll use it, but we don't rely on it. We live off the land. We match technology with spontaneity and improvisation. Men against machines, brains against computers. Now, if you don't think it can work, you check out Algeria, Kenya, Korea, and Vietnam. Can you dig it?
It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Good morning, slaves, and welcome to another edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine, where the revolution will be televised. I am your host, the Stimulator, and if you were watching CNN or Fox last week, you probably missed this. About 2.5 million French peeps took to the streets and proclaimed a general strike in protest to how President Sarkozy has been handling the current economic clusterfuck.
There's a sense of anxiety over the financial crisis, a sense of injustice. It's unimaginable that the government won't act. If it doesn't, there'll certainly be more of this to come.
Rebellions have also been taking place in Latvia, Bulgaria, Mexico. In Lithuania, protesters attempted to storm the parliament building. And in Iceland, the motherfucking resistance successfully forced the prime minister to resign. Here's the PM's limo surrounded by his constituents a couple of weeks ago.
This is hot for the limo.
In case you haven't noticed, capitalism is collapsing all around us. But the bootlicking corporate side crunchers who call themselves the media keep trying to maintain the facade that everything is just peachy.
The great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Seriously, America, what's taking so fucking long? Oh yeah, I forgot. Seriously, stop that.
This morning I'd like to talk about some good news and some bad news.
The bad news is that all that bailout money that was supposed to save the economy is buying bonuses, jets, and $85,000 rugs for those greedy Wall Street executives.
Want some?
Yep, those gluttonous sons of bitches are snorting blow and banging high-priced hookers as you and your peeps struggle to put food on the table. And guess who voted for the bailout plan?
The good news is
that 7 freedom fighters nabbed during the RNC had their charges dropped. The Wall 7 were charged with obstructing the legal process, disorderly conduct, unlawful assembly, and blocking traffic, among other things. But the city of St. Popa just didn't have enough evidence. In global warming news, well-fed millionaire Al Gore spoke to the Senate to let them know that we're totally off.
We have arrived at a moment of decision. Our home, Earth, is in danger. What is at risk of being destroyed is not the planet itself, of course, but the conditions that have made it hospitable for human beings. The solutions to the climate crisis are the very same solutions that will address our economic and national security crises as well.
But Gore's solutions did not include switching to a local diet. Well now, eating locally not only curbs your carbon emissions, but it also may help stop the slaughter of innocent Palestinian babies.
Well, we have seized unlawful goods that have been on sale in Tesco's. They're clearly labelled West Bank. The West Bank is a legally occupied territory in Palestine. It's actually Palestinian, and these are illegally grown on the settlements there. What's happened there is people have been evicted from their homes. Their homes have been demolished. The ancient olive groves that are thousands of years old have been uprooted, and all the water has been appropriated to grow these illegal goods, and it's an absolute disgrace.
revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner, because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run, or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised.
It has not even been a month, and Barack already has blood in his hands. The man your mama calls Obama authorized missile strikes with targets in Pakistan, killing 3 children.
Yes! I don't know what
They bombed our village from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and martyred 14 women and children in Garroch village.
Now Barack, my man, would it make a difference if those kids had names like Natasha and Malia? I'm just saying. And for those looking for change, the deadly strikes in Pakistan may be the first in the many disappointments Obama will deliver. So as an early preventative antidote to Obama's sickness, I bring you a healthy dose of the stimulator's cure-all Media Elixir.
When you actually look deeper into Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, you'll see they both are very hawkish, and they know they have to be, because America is still in a post-traumatic state. It is still recovering from the trauma of 9/11.
After 9/11, we went inside. We went into our houses, into our apartments. We shut our windows,
isolated,
closed our doors,
and
buried
Obama
ourselves.
got us out into the air again.
Obama may have the energy and the anger and the networks of the anti-war vote, but he does not have a plan to get us out of Iraq. What he has is a plan to downsize the occupation of Iraq, not to end it. He talks about keeping the green zone intact and calls that ending the war. Let me tell you, you cannot keep the green zone, which is the symbol of the foreign occupation of Iraq, without a massive troop presence that includes the military contractors like Blackwater as well.
And Obama has written himself into a corner where he is going to need companies like Blackwater, Triple Canopy, and DynCorp to implement his Iraq policy. He also, and I think this is incredibly disturbing, is characterizing Afghanistan as the good war.
One of the major problems coming is Afghanistan and Pakistan. That's pretty serious. Take a look at Obama's website under issues, foreign policy issues. The statements that you hear are pretty hawkish.
Our job is to tell the hard truth, and it is our job to push for the kind of radical change that can actually turn the political tide.
We have many elected officials that are black all over the United States, and especially, we have black mayors, black city council people. Still, the power to change things doesn't come from these elected officials. Power to change things comes from the people forcing the elected officials to do what the people want.
Reclaiming public space is the seed of activism. That's something we can't let go just because the presidential campaign's over. Parks, streets, we need to be there as citizens, not consumers, citizens that enjoy the First Amendment rights.
If you only invest your time and energy into electoral politics, then you're looking to not get the result that you wanted, which is progressive change.
Changes and progress very rarely are gifts from above. They come out of struggles from below, and it's up to the answer to what's next depends on people like you.
And that about does it for this edition of It's the End of the World as we know it, and I feel fine. This week, big ups to some very generous slaves. Paul, Linda, Amanda, Mike, Sean, Jason, Maria, Nimbus, Robbie, Nigel, Stelisnav, Dennis, Brianna, Lynn, Isaac, and Keith. Merci. For links on all current rebellions happening around the world, or to send me information on others I might not know about, just visit my website, stimulator.tv. And don't believe the hype.
Remember, kids, you can podcast high-quality video of this show at submedia.tv.
Is left of Iraq's weapons of mass destruction and related prescribed items and programs. So far, UNMOVIC has not found any such weapons, only a small number of empty chemical munitions which should have been declared and destroyed.
The chief weapons inspector saying his inspectors have not found anything. Is that a premise to go to war?
And if that's America's plan, which it probably is, you know, I think if they expect the people to sit down and take this lying down, I think they're wrong.
Our conservative estimate is that Iraq today has a stockpile of between 100 and 500 tons of chemical weapons agent. That is enough agent to fill 16,000 battlefield rockets.
Officials now say they may not find hundreds of tons of mustard and nerve agents.
They tried to imperialize us culturally, they failed. They tried to imperialize us economically, they failed. Socially, they failed. And now they are imperializing physically. They physically want to imperialize us.
But reports from the field give a fairly narrow view of what's really going on. So the administration has tried to present what it calls the big picture 3 times a day with carefully coordinated messages. First, from Doha.
There is still work to be done.
Then the Pentagon.
There will still be tough fighting.
And finally, the White House.
There still is fighting ahead of us.
So it's okay if you're traumatized and if you shat yourself. That's what they were going for. What went wrong?
You can call me a fool, that's alright with me. I will live to see this good round world breaking free. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine.
Democracies do not wage aggressive wars.
40 dead animals! One per coat! 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 Trapping! Trapping! Anal electrocution!
How did Macy's get that far today?
By gassing! Trapping! Anal electrocution!
One struggle, one fight! Human freedom, animal rights! One struggle, one fight!
Human freedom, animal
you know, today is known as the busiest shopping day of the year, and for generations, or for decades anyway, it's been also known as Fur-Free Friday. This is a day when we want to thank Portlanders for not buying fur and encourage people to make this a cruelty-free holiday season. That even fur trim means horrible brutality to animals. Animals trapped on factory farms, fur farms. Animals that are killed in painful steel jaw leg hole traps. Animals in China, where there are absolutely no laws protecting them, being literally skinned alive. And even in this country where there are no federal laws protecting these animals. We need to remind people that this is the beginning of a season that we should be thinking about compassion and having a compassionate holiday. That also includes what we put on our plates and what we eat, and we're encouraging people to make a New Year's resolution to go vegan. Starting at Nordstrom's, I want to say a couple of things about Nordstrom's. The Nordstrom's family has made some good choices in the past years. A while back, they gave up their full fur salons. The Nordstrom's family has been educated about the fur issue up to a certain point. In 2006, they made the decision to not carry fur on any of their own line of clothing. So there's still one more step they need to make. Nordstrom's, when we spoke recently with their corporate office, Nordstrom said that they're kind of following their customers, and their customers are demanding fur. Nordstrom's is claiming that they are following the designers in New York that are still carrying fur, and that they're not ready to give up all their fur yet. In Defense of Animals is going to be launching a national campaign against Nordstrom's. Starting today and through Valentine's Day, we're going to be out at as many Nordstrom's as we can be at across the country, educating their customers, because their customers are compassionate. They just don't know what's really happening behind the scenes on these fur farms. And Nordstrom's actually agreed with me on this point. They said their customers aren't compassionate, and it's just a matter of education. And so we're going to be at as many Nordstrom stores as we can across the country from now through the fur season, through Valentine's Day, every weekend. And I want you all to join me on these upcoming weekends. We're going to announce at the end of this March. We're going to be coming out on Sundays. We're going to see when people are available, and we're going to be out here every weekend during the holiday season. So we need Nordstrom to take that last step. They are, of all the retail department stores, they sell less fur than anyone. They've come farther than anyone, and the Nordstrom's family has made some good choices. So they just have one more step to take, and we're going to help them do it. So in just a minute or so, we're going to step out into the street. We're going to have, as we always do, a peaceful police-escorted march past all the downtown stores that sell fur. You're partaking in Fur-Free Friday in Portland. You're among 100 other cities that are doing this all over the country today.
We bring you Yolanda McRib, a person of coal and the ice her field fur came from. Yolanda McRib stumbled upon this coat while getting a little shopping done during her trip to Norway.
And here comes lovely, beefy McGreedy. Wearing a coat made by sewing together some 55 mink carcasses. Some of these mink were even allowed to live long enough to see their first winter coat. While in fur farms, these normally active creatures are given a 10 by 24 inch cage as accommodations.
We bring you Dee Dee Deathface, straight from the depths of the cruel and vain fashion world, or so she thinks. As you can see, Dee Dee is wearing a dead and rotting coat made out of skins of 20 silver fox. Oh, how this fur could have been so sleek and elegant had it stayed on its original did it for 20 years.
This holiday season, please make it a compassionate one. Please choose not to buy any fur this holiday. You need to know that 50 million animals are killed every year in the fur industry. Even if it's just a little bit of fur trim around a hood, it represents immense suffering. I know firsthand. I worked for 4 months during the pelting season on a fox farm in Illinois. I know what happens behind the scenes. These wild animals lead miserable lives. They're in filthy, tiny cages. They go crazy running the wire, sometimes even cannibalizing each other. And at the end of their short lives, they're cut down with foxes. The industry standard method of killing a fox on a factory farm is anal electrocution, with mink. They're gassed crudely and often have their necks snapped by the fur farmer. The farmer that I worked for wasn't even giving the animals adequate water. They were dying of dehydration. This man actually said the first sign of dehydration in a fox is when they're lying in their cage, bleeding out of their rectum. And he didn't even care because he just thought that was one less animal that he was going to have to kill later. This is awful. There's no federal laws protecting fur animals. These animals are still trapped in painful steel jaw leg hold traps, left to linger for days until the trapper comes to beat the animal over the head with a club. Please, make it a compassionate holiday. We're thanking Portlanders for not buying fur. We're here today at Pioneer Place because Juicy Couture inside Pioneer Place used to carry fur. PETA and In Defense of Animals was about to launch a campaign against them, and they saw the light. They decided to take all the fur out of their store. Juicy Couture is now fur-free and joins a whole line of stores that are no longer selling fur.
My name is Star, and you know what I got? What do you got? I got a message that's hotter than hot. How hot is hot? I'm anti-fur and vivisection too. I use my voice and my attitude. Fight for liberation, fight for liberation, fight for liberation, fight for liberation. My name is Saboom, and you know what I got? What do you got? I got a message that's hotter than hot. How hot is hot? Defenseless animals are always our friends. And we humans have the rights to defend. Eat your vegetables, not the animals. Eat your vegetables, not the animals.
What do we do when animals are under attack? What do we do when innocent mink are under attack? What do we do when innocent fox are under attack? What do we do when innocent cougars are under attack? What do we do when innocent animals are under attack?
There's a killer in your neighborhood eating teenagers. In the slaughterhouse, they call this creature the Judas goat. A Judas goat is trained to lead the other animals around the stockyards, ultimately to their death at the hands of the butcher. At the last minute, the Judas goat is taken out of the killing pen and returned to the yard to lead yet another set of unsuspecting animals to their death. So long as that Judas goat can lead the others to their slaughter, he is spared the knife himself. The military recruiter is a human Judas goat. As long as he fills his monthly quota of young bodies, he doesn't have to go to war himself. His victims die that he may live a self-indulgent lifestyle. To meet his quota, a recruiter paints false dreams of glory and adventure to innocent youth. He will often resort to bullying, harassment, manipulation, phony calls to patriotism and duty, or suggestions that only those with military service attain real manhood. It is time to unmask these bloodsuckers and rid our communities of them. Have some fun. Save a life. Get the recruiters off campus now.